Long before humanity looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone, the answer had already been decided. Hidden within the cosmic microwave background radiation, an ancient whisper from the birth of the universe, lay a message. A message not from Earth, but about it. It was Dr. Elaine Carter who first noticed the anomaly. At first, it seemed like noise, a faint pattern buried within the static of the universe itself. But as she and her team at the Deep Space Observatory decrypted the data, it became clear this wasn't random. It was structured. Coordinates. A signal older than humanity, waiting for them to finally listen. At first, no one believed it. Scientists debated, skeptics dismissed it as a cosmic coincidence. But when they pointed their telescopes to the specified coordinates, they found something impossible. A structure, hidden in the darkness beyond the Oort cloud, dormant until the moment Earth's technology advanced enough to detect it. Then, it woke up. A transmission followed. No cryptic alien language, no indecipherable code, just a simple message, spoken in perfect, flawless English. Earth's time has come. The seat awaits. The world changed overnight. Governments scrambled, the media speculated wildly, and conspiracy theorists had a field day. But amid the chaos, one undeniable truth remained: humanity had been expected. Not as invaders, not as explorers, but as invited guests. The beacon was ancient, far older than Earth itself. Whoever had placed it there had known, somehow, that humanity would emerge. That one day, they would reach for the stars. That day had arrived. The question was no longer whether humanity was alone. It was why they had been chosen. And, more importantly, who had reserved their place. A delegation was assembled: scientists, diplomats, and military officials, each carrying the weight of a planet's expectations. Aboard the UNS Pathfinder, humanity's first interstellar envoy, they followed the beacon's signal to its source. What they found defied imagination. A structure the size of a moon, suspended in the void. Not a derelict ruin, but a living construct, humming with power. It was no ordinary station, it was a gateway. And humanity's arrival had activated it. The ship was scanned. Not by weapons, but by something far more unnerving: an intelligence older than Earth itself. The voice from the beacon returned, but this time, it was not a transmission. It was an invitation. They stepped forward, and in an instant, Earth's delegation stood inside the Galactic Assembly. A vast amphitheater, filled with beings from across the stars. Some biological, others mechanical, and some so utterly alien they defied description. At the center, a single empty seat, polished and waiting. It had been waiting for them. But before they could claim it, a figure stepped forward. A towering being, clad in living metal, its voice like grinding stone. A Drethari, one of the elder races. This is absurd. You barely understand the cosmos, yet you believe yourselves worthy of a place among us? Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The VA Therics, a race of hypological synthetics, spoke next. You are inefficient. Fragile. You are not yet proven. Then, the voice of the assembly itself. A vast AI construct known as Sci-Fi, the eternal arbiter. The seat was marked, but the test remains. Earth must prove itself. There was no protest. No plea. Humanity had never been given anything for free. They didn't expect to start now. Dr. Carter stepped forward, her voice steady. Then test us. The challenge was set. But it was not one of war, nor strength. It was something else. Something far more fitting. It was a trial of adaptability. And no species in the galaxy adapted faster than humans. The trial was unlike anything humanity expected. It wasn't a contest of brute force or technological superiority. It was a simulation, a test designed to measure problem-solving, creativity, and resilience. They were placed in an artificial environment, an ever-shifting labyrinth that responded to their actions. The rules were unclear. The conditions changed without warning. What worked one moment failed the next. Other species had attempted this challenge before. Most had followed logic, adapting in predictable ways. That was their mistake. Humanity did what it did best. It improvised. Where others sought patterns, they they broke them. When the environment shifted, they adapted faster than it could reset. They created solutions the test itself hadn't accounted for, forcing it to rewrite its own parameters just to keep up. What should have taken days was over in hours. The assembly watched in silence. The Dretheri, once amused, now looked uneasy. The VA Therics recalculated their projections. Humanity wasn't following the rules. They were rewriting them. But the real discovery came after. As the trial concluded, the system unlocked something hidden deep within its archives. A long-dormant vault, untouched for millennia. Inside, a message older than any civilization present. It was from the architects. They were not extinct. They had vanished, deliberately. And before they left, they made a single decree: Earth's seat was not a mistake. It was reserved, not for power, not for dominance, but for something far rarer. For a species that would challenge everything. The assembly was no longer debating if humanity belonged. They were beginning to wonder if they had ever been the ones in control at all. The revelation changed everything. The architects hadn't just chosen humanity, they had anticipated them. A species that would refuse to accept limits, that would break conventions, that would force the galaxy to evolve. The assembly, once so certain of its hierarchy, now faced an uncomfortable truth. They weren't judging humanity. They were reacting to something far greater than themselves. The Dretheri leader, unwilling to accept this, issued a final challenge. Not a test of intelligence, not a test of strength, something far simpler. A game of strategy. Something any civilization could understand. A battle of pure tactics. It was over in minutes. Not because humanity was stronger. Not because they were smarter. But because they thought differently. Every move was unpredictable. Every strategy, something the opponent had never seen before. The Dretheri, known for their centuries of perfected battle doctrine, were dismantled by something they had never accounted for: chaos. The assembly fell silent. Then, the seat, humanity's seat, illuminated for the first time in recorded history. No more debates. No more trials. The architects had been right. Earth had arrived. As Dr. Carter took her place, she spoke the words that would be remembered for generations. We weren't just given this seat. We earned it. And now, we're going to change the game. Across the void, something stirred. The architect's last failsafe had activated. A signal pulsed through the fabric of space, one final message. They were watching. And humanity had just taken its first step into a much larger game.